Hey, what's going on, everybody? Sorry for the little hiatus for the Command Time crew, but things had to be taken care of, and it was a little bit of a slow period. But it's the off season, a lot of things to discuss. But the biggest topic right now is trending on Twitter for the Washington Commanders fans, San Francisco 49ers fans, Pittsburgh fans, and it is the services of Brandon Aiyuk. What's going on with 49ers? What's going on with him? And him being with Jada Daniels on FaceTime. A lot to discuss on this episode. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and kick it off because this is time for Command Time.
If they ain't cooking, I don't want it.
What's going on, everybody? This is the Command Time Podcast with your boy DT and Caleb on the show today. We're back after a couple weeks off. A little bit of a slow start through the off season. There was kind of news and stuff, but we wanted to, get some things situated for. We're gonna have a big summer for you guys on this channel. Got a couple of guests lined up for us, but I was urged by Caleb.
Hmm. It's something. It's something for us to talk about. We bored. We bored.
We definitely are bored. So this is definitely a interesting topic. So Caleb, you go ahead and tell us the rundown we had for the past couple of weeks and this morning.
Yeah. So rumors are rumors. Let's get this off. Let's say this first. It's the off season. We're tired of talking about the same things over and over and over and over again. So this is stuff that's entertaining for us. But at the end of the day, for this is just me. But at the end of the day, we gotta just pump the brakes a little bit, in my opinion. Sure, the whole topic of Ayuk and what he did on TikTok or whatever. Even one of the Niners reporters, he does Locked On with the Niners or something like that, a podcast, and he said he wouldn't take this thing he's doing too seriously anyway. The Niners still own his rights. They can tag him. They can do whatever they want. That man wants $30 million. Are we willing to pay him $30 million at a luxury position? And in my opinion, do we need to add a receiver, like another receiver? Sure, I would like to add another receiver. But however, is it a huge need for us right now? I would probably say no. I think there's 3 other positions we need more, but having Ayuk would definitely help Jaden. I'm not saying it wouldn't help him.
Yeah.
It would definitely help him. Or it could all blow up in our face at the same time as well. You paying a receiver this amount of money, Jaden ends up not being what we thought he's going to be. You make this super early investment, and it's like now you just have a plethora of receivers with no quarterback now. Now it's kind of, maybe this is just me, but now it kind of feels like 2 years ago when we had receivers. We had Terry Jahan and Curtis Samuel. We had no solidified quarterback. Now we just have talented skill possessions, and no one's going to give them the ball. That could very much happen. Or the opposite could happen, where it could thrive for us. And it very could much thrive. But for me, with the free agency acquisitions that we got, right? Good free agent acquisitions. Most of them are on 1-year deals. They're not long-term situations. We have to replace those next year. So you want to give up picks for this player. How are you going to replace these guys? If you're going to give up a second, because I'm not giving up a first for Ayuk. I'm not giving up a first. Second, you're going to have to give up a second. You're going to have to give up a third, fourth. You're going to have to give up some of those picks. Are you willing to do that knowing we're going to have he may have holes next year at certain positions. That's a risk you're going to have to take. Unless you really trust your coaching staff to bring these guys up and find a diamond in the rough. Do you trust Adam Peters to find this diamond in the rough? I would say I do. He has a history of doing it. For us right now, I don't know, man. It just doesn't sit right with me. Not yet, at least. I wouldn't mind doing it, but we need to find our identity first as a team. Let's find our identity first. Then we can make these commitments that are saying, "Oh yeah, this team is going all in." So I don't know how you feel, DT. If us trading for Aiyuk is an all-in move, I wouldn't say it's an all-in move in my opinion, because we have the cap space for it. It's not like we're giving all these players super huge contracts. Do you want to surround your quarterback with weapons? Yes. So now people are saying our wide receiver room is trash, which, okay, they're saying Terry's getting older, his deal is expiring. I'm not cutting Terry off until I see his production dip. And was his production what it normally was this year than last year? No, but there's different context to that situation too at the same time. So you have a new offense you're trying to install. The protection is bad. The O-line is bad. No running, like there's no cohesiveness in the offense. You could see on the film routes. Some people ran into each other on the routes. There was no chemistry. Now we have a question at wide receiver too, because Jahan had a down year, but we forgot what he did in his rookie year. And we saw the promise we had in him. So, and I think Dotson's going to be fine. By the way, I think Terry is going to have a career year in targets because of this offense. It focuses on his strengths. So Cliff is going to use him for those goal ball situations. And Terry thrives in that. That's his best route. You really can't press him on that type of route. And he got the contested catch aspect to his game. So Terry's going to get a lot of targets this year, in my opinion. So it would be nice to have Terry Aiyuk. You're going to have Jahan in the slot. What you going to do with Luke? I don't really care about Diami, respectfully. But could I see him being used in this offense? Because that's also his strength too. Go routes, those deep routes. That's his strength too, by the way. Just letting people know. Even though I don't really care about him no more. But, I don't know, DT. People think this wide receiver room is bad now. So they think it's a bottom 3 position on this team. Some people, not all people. I just don't feel it's a bottom 3 position on this team. Like I correct me if I'm wrong. I stand 10 toes down on that. I don't see it being a glaring need. Because I don't know. Sometimes I feel like we just want the shiny new toy. So we want every player, it seems like, Washington fans. Every single player. A player's available. Ooh, let's get him. Let's get him. Let's get him. You have a history of doing that, especially on social media. So, your thoughts?
Yeah, so before I even give my thoughts, for those who have not seen the video, here is the official TikTok clip that has been viral for the past couple of days. Here it is right here.
Bro, look in the cam, bro. Look the cam.
He got me vlogging this shit.
Bro, what?
What happened, bro?
They said they don't want me back. I swear.
Oh my.
So, a couple things I saw, in my opinion, right? I just think, obviously, to me, it's more of a troll job.
It is. It is.
to let them know, hey, I don't like what's going on. I don't like how the negotiations have been on my side. It feels like you don't love me, and it's just there's that. It's just a gruntled player who is seeking the amount of money on his side. And yes, he had a career year. He was, I believe, a second team All Pro player in the NFL this year. 1,300 yards receiving, career high. Um, Definitely just a troll job just to heckle the 49ers front office in terms of what's going on. I also just find it funny that obviously he would be on FaceTime with his best friend, which is Jaden Daniels, the rookie quarterback for the Washington Commanders. Um, that makes it kind of enticing, but for me, where I stand is I would be open to getting Brandon Aiyuk. And here's why. Because either way, this team still is going to be having holes, whether it's offensive line or questions at the corner or questions like we're talking about wide receiver until head into this year. The wide receiver room, I think, is a lot of people like. I don't think it's the worst wide receiver room, but I do have questions about um, who would step up if injuries more than likely happen, or if Jahan has an injury, like things like that. Who would be wide receiver two in this offense? Diami has been here for 3 to 4 years. Yes, he played in the air raid in North Carolina. Yes, he has a skill set, but we have not seen that consistently in the NFL.
I agree.
He also has to be on the field as well. I think that's one big problem. Jamison Crowder, yeah, fan favorite player from back in the 2015 to 2017 year. No, I'm not going to be dependent on him. Zacchaeus, probably a sneaky guy. That's probably someone that a lot of people, even like JP Finley, mentioned could be like a wide receiver four. So you have questions at wide receiver, especially after Terry, because Terry has been the mainstay in the room. And yes, I do believe Jahan will have a better year. And we'll still have to see what Luke McCaffrey brings to the table. So wide receiver heading to next year, to me, when you're looking at the financials and looking at being better at that spot, it's going to be a question, just like the offensive line, just like corners, just like the amount of free agents we signed. Some of these guys have only signed 1 year deals. So you're still going to be having an entirely new team next year. I just think, and I said this today, and I commented with AJ when he asked a question last night. He posted on Twitter, talk about building around a quarterback. I just think there are different ways to build around a rookie. And a lot of people, I believe, the main thing they think about is the timeline to build around a rookie. To me, when you draft a guy that high, you have to immediately find a ways to build him up and have things around him. Because yes, you're not sure they're going to be the QB of the future, but them guys drafting them guy at number two, they're expecting him to be the QB of the future. Now they're trying to take off the pressure off of him. I do agree with that, but when you draft these guys this high and they're literally the face of the franchise, they're literally the talk of the town. Immediately, in my opinion, you need to build around them. Now, yes, I know Washington, they could have did a little bit more on the offensive line. Um, really just mainly on the offensive line. Probably add a veteran receiver. But we'll just have to see. And I'm not entirely mad about how the offensive line has looked this offseason. I do like Brandon Coleman, but some things just don't float. That's just how I feel. Um, Everybody has a different timeline, have a different way of building around the quarterback. I just think for us, when you see guys like Andrew Luck, who was drafted number one, extremely talented player, consistently was around top 5, top 10. But what the one thing the Colts didn't do was they didn't immediately build around him consistently. And that was mainly with the offensive line. I'm not saying it'll be the same situation over here with Jaden Daniels because we still yet to see how this offense is going to look. But I just think when you draft a guy in the top 5 or just top 10 and you already identified that as your guy, you have to build around him because that's the whole purpose of drafting that guy at that position.
Yeah, I def. I'm not saying I disagree with that. Now it's what you decide you want to build. Do you want to build the trenches first, or do you want to build, or do you want to get the weapons? So some people feel like, and people have different opinions. To me, this is all an opinion-based thing. I get the other aspect. I get the other side of the other side of the argument. I understand it. However, it's not a need for me. Like we need corner, we need left tackle, left guard. Y'all complain about the right tackle so much in Wiley. We talk about the edge rushers they have a bunch of players and they're going to use them in different ways on the edge. Bobby's coming off a 1-year deal. Who's going to be the middle linebacker next year? You're giving up picks for this. Jordan McGee, we still got to see what he's going to be. I mean, he could replace him, but people tend to forget that the middle linebacker is one of the hardest positions for a young player to adapt to. It's hard to find an elite middle linebacker, let alone a good one or a great one. And when you find one, you pay them. Same thing with the quarterback. My thing is, I really want. I mean, and this depends on how you view the draft. And I don't hate the draft per se. I would have put more stock into the offensive line, but Johnny Newton was the best player available. But talking to one of my good friends, he wanted Jackson Powers Johnson. He wanted to add him in the second round and get him instead of Newton because he wanted to solidify the trenches. So us ignoring the O-line to add more weapons, it's like, this is a bold risk that you're making. To me, this is a risk that you're taking. I'd rather stay pats, use those draft picks to build up those trenches, get a premier left tackle, get a franchise left tackle, get a guard. We don't know what Allegretti's going to be. There's a hole at left guard. Right guard, I love Cosme. Wiley, don't know. He's inconsistent at times. I mean, later on in the year, he was decent. I think he got better later on in the year. Just a just a small bit, he got a little bit better. But I just think, and plus, wide receivers come out every year in the draft. Wide receivers come out every year in the draft.
That's very fair.
You can find a receiver. You can even in the group chat, they say, oh, yeah, you can find edge and corner. Yeah, but there's more great receivers than there are great corners to me. You can easily find a receiver in the draft. You know how many 1,000-yard receivers they were in the NFL this past year? It's like 19 of them. 19. Getting 1,000 yards isn't crazy anymore. It's not a huge accomplishment. Almost every receiver damn near is getting 1,000 yards or close to it.
Yeah, well, that's also because of the extra game too. So
yeah, that's true. And it's a passing league. So, but
yeah, so Gory got some comments rolling in. Shout out to Slim hopping on. He has, which one of them needs can you address today?
You can address left tackle today. Like you can't address it. Y'all sure. Going back and forth with this on social media, back to Yari, yes. He only played 14 games the last 3 seasons, right? And people forget the context I'm trying to explain. I'm not saying you sign him to a long-term deal. 1 year. 1 year. And you let Coleman develop and sit. And whatever happens the next year. I'll get it if this is possible. He's not coming here. I mean, most of these scenarios aren't going to happen anyway.
Yeah.
That's why I kind of hate having these conversations because it's not realistic. It's not going to happen. But this is just something because we're bored in the offseason. There's nothing to talk about. We got to wait till training camp. Then we're going to find stuff to really talk about. So I'd sign him for a 1-year deal, let Coleman sit, and hopefully he's ready next season. And then Cornelius Lucas is your backup tackle. Or him or Coleman are your backup tackle. That's what I'm doing because that's more of a hole to me than a receiver room. Sure, Ayuk is on that trend to being an elite receiver. He had a crazy year, ridiculous. He's what I love in a receiver. Route runner, contested catch. He can get you yak. He can get you all that. Don't get me wrong. I need those trenches solidified, man. I want a left tackle. Get Bakhtiari for a 1-year deal. I'm sorry.
But you know what helps the trenches as well, too, Caleb, is an offensive mind that understands, hey, there are some deficiencies, and they scheme around them, and a quarterback that can get the ball out of his hands quick. Like, the offensive line, they did not play.
They were bad.
65 sacks is ridiculous.
They were bad.
A lot of them were also on Sam Howell holding the ball as well. And a lot of them was also on the fact that he was left on an island, leaving guys one-on-one against the top-tier defensive linemen and stuff like that. So I think when it comes to the offensive line, like, yeah, you can address – I think it's easier to address tackle, trying to get a Bakhtiari. I'll be down with it. It's a 1-year deal.
And not to cut you off, Tyron Smith, 1-year deal, and they were complaining about him being injury prone. The Jets still drafted a tackle. I would have took Tyron Smith. 1 year. All I'm asking for is a 1-year.
I feel you,
deal.
but that dude, he got $20 million guaranteed though for 1 year.
You said what?
Didn't he get $20 million for 1 year?
It's the left tackle position. You're going to have to pay.
I don't know about that, bro. That might be.
I mean, no, but look, really good left tackles are hard to come by.
So my question to you is like, okay, you get Bakhtiari, but I don't really agree with trying to sit Coleman, because if Coleman can play guard better than Allegretti, then I will put him there.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And then Slim right here, addressing tackle means writing off the draft pick you just used for training camp.
No, it doesn't. You just develop him. No, it doesn't. You just develop him behind the scenes, and then you ease him in. No, you're not neglecting that. You're not writing him off. You want to put the best players out there to play on this roster, especially at important positions. Like I said, I'm still developing him. That's another thing too, JD. BT, we got to talk about. There's a reason why I would want Bakhtiari, who's an experienced left tackle, because we have Bobby Johnson as our O-line coach, and that's concerning to me.
We still have to see. I mean,
yeah, but I'm just like the numbers are there. The proof is there in black and white. You can't ignore that. It's concerning.
So
it's concerning.
Is it really concerning though? Because
Yes.
the Giants been trying to build their offensive line since 2013.
That's true. Now
he came to a team that was not consistently building their offensive line since Eli Manning left.
Now that is true. Now there's two things though. Either he's a bad coach or they just drafted bad players.
I think it was bad players.
Do you think Evan Neal is
even
bad?
then, like, I'm not saying Eric Flowers was the greatest thing on paper, but he goes over here when
he was good.
My coach before
It was
he's in Cleveland now. He turned into a guard and he was an average player.
Now, Bills fans will say, because I asked their opinion on this. Who's the guard? Wyatt Teller. Wyatt Teller was on that team, and Bobby Johnson was the online coach. Couldn't develop him. He went to the Browns. Now he's an All-Pro guard.
I'm sorry, who was the player again?
Wyatt Teller, the guard from the Browns.
Teller was there.
He used to be coached under Bobby Johnson. Bobby Johnson couldn't get the best of him. Now he's on the Browns thriving. That's why I'm saying it's a little concerning to me. That's like it's just a little concerning to me. It's concerning. That's why I say it's either he's a bad coach or they just drafted bad players. Because it's not a position of need. That's why. Like like people, I don't know why people are so quick to write off this receiver room. Granted, can it be better? Sure, but we all love Jahan in his rookie year. Now recency bias kicks in, and now we don't. Now he's a question mark. Luke, I understand, even though I'm high on Luke. I think Luke is going to be a good player. But hey, man, I understand both sides. I understand why you would want Ayuk, but I think it's fair to understand why wouldn't you wouldn't take that risk right now. I think both sides have a. I think there's competent arguments on both sides. But I get it. I'm not saying y'all. I'm not saying people are wrong. I'm just saying there's a risk to this. I mean, there's a risk to everything. But you investing draft picks and money, it's a risk. Now he has one decent.
So
Season. Oh
I
God,
don't.
people love Jahan. Our fans love Jahan.
I do think Jahan is going to rebound.
He will. He'll be fine. He's good.
I'm just still concerned about
The depth.
really the depth. I mean, I do like Zacchaeus. I think he can contribute.
And then you got the receiver. I don't know how you feel about him. The undrafted free agent from Georgia.
Jack Sink, yeah, I like Jack Sink too, but
So yeah,
I'm
but we don't
trying
know.
not to get into the
Yeah, I know.
the Ashburn of like.
I get you.
So I mean, like I just have to see. It's going to be a battle for really. First of all, you got to think about how many receivers going to take because they use 10 personnel a lot in this offense. So you need good 4 receivers certain times. Terry, Jahan, and Luke, and whoever's wide receiver 4. And I would put Zacchaeus because I trust Zacchaeus more than Diami.
And don't forget, you can use Senate as in the slot too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, tight ends as well.
You can, so he could run 3 receiver sets with a tight end in the slot. It just depends on what he wants. It just depends on what type of plays he's running. Like I said, Terry, Ayuk, Jahan in the slot, and then they're using Luke as a running back. He took some snaps there. You can put him in the slot too. On paper, shit is nasty. It's nasty. I'll admit it's nasty. I'm not ready to make that type of long-term commitment yet. Not until I see some of these players play.
Well, this yeah, these comments blowing up today. AJ said, "What you crying about today?"
See, gets the people going. You see how I bring people together, DT. You see how I bring people together. I love it. It's all love. But I'm just saying, bro. Like I'm seeing Robert. Yes, you can use him in the slot. You literally can. He has snaps of him playing in the slot. The hell. You could use him in line in the slot. You could use him as a fullback. Like what? Adam Peters even said that his damn self. So I guess we don't trust Adam Peters, huh, DT? Oh well. But yeah, man. Wide receiver 2 is a question now. Granted, Jahan could be a bust, but okay.
Have no true numbers.
Okay. I disagree. I think Jahan could be a number 2. Do you remember his stats, DT? Jahan's stats? Jahan's.
Last year,
No, his rookie year.
I believe it was 35 catches, 523 yards, and 7 touchdowns.
He played 12 games, right?
Yeah, but
And he led all rookies in touchdowns that year.
he did. I just.
So do you think
It's a new regime, Caleb. Like you have to think about that. Like they didn't draft him. They can acknowledge he's a talented player, but you have one solid year. You miss a lot of games, okay, but
Got hurt.
you can play. The next year,
Next
you
year, I can't
were
even
mainly
count.
healthy, but to me, he wasn't used correctly.
I agree. I can't even. This past year was so bad, and like you could see like what I can't even like. Jahan didn't play the way he was supposed to play.
It's like
Never mind,
For
bro.
Jahan last year, almost every route was like
And
under 5 to 6 yards.
yeah, and by the way, I'm not saying we drafted Senate to use him in the slots. He's going to be used as a tight end, but he can play. He can be used as a slot option. That's what tight ends are like. Like DT, we've literally discussed this on our pod. We discussed this on the pod of Senate playing slot, so he can play it. I'm not saying he's going. I'm not saying he's going to get like crazy production from the slot, but you can move him because he's that athletic.
I hear you, man.
Senna's not good as a receiver. Okay. Oh boy. Oh boy. Well, Adam Peters knows something you don't, buddy. So I'm high on Senat anyway. I think he's going to be perfect for what Jaden needs as a safety net. Plus, I don't know if Adam Peters is going to make that type of move right now. He's been making safe moves. Safe moves.
Yep.
We're not going to win a Super Bowl no time soon anyway. So
Okay, so do you think he had an aggressive move this offseason though? What would be the most aggressive move he had done?
do you think signing all those free agents was just aggressive or I mean, not
No,
really.
I think it's just a formula that they follow.
Yeah, an aggressive move to me is like you're paying big bucks to a premier player or a player that you think is going to take you over the top. Oh, Zacchaeus is not going to be wide receiver 3.
Hey, we'll find out, man.
Jahan won from the outside. So, oh man, people want Aiyuk so bad, and it's funny because we're most likely not going to get him.
I'll be down for IU. God.
That's not the reason why.
Hey, man.
That's not the reason.
Hey,
DT, I think people are really taking. I'm just saying, man. We need left tackle, quarter, and edge, but we need receiver. Offensive line is.
But some of that, like we said, some of that stuff can be solved next year.
This DB room is so bad, but we want to. I'm just not giving up picks. Like if you think a third and okay, DT, would you do a third and Jahan for him?
You said what?
Would you give him a third round pick in Jahan?
Give a third round pick for Jahan?
Mm-hmm. No. A third round pick, Jahan for Aiyuk.
I wouldn't give Jahan.
They're going to ask for something.
They're going to ask for a player? Nah.
This is
I don't think they're going to ask for a player. We got a special guest, though.
Hey, Caleb.
That's a crazy profile pic. I ain't gonna lie. That's George Pickens.
Nah, that's you looking at Adam Peters making his selections, thinking he got it.
Damn right.
God, that's you.
That's the best GM we probably had. They probably had in years.
Hey man, no GM is perfect, man. He's had misses. He's had misses at San Fran with John Lynch.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's just one of those things where it's like you can't say in one token I trust Adam Peters, but then you concerned about the offensive line. You talking about left tackle. You talking about other positions. You should be able to trust him enough to understand what he's done so far this offseason, from utilizing free agency, retaining players that were already on the roster,
Mm.
to the draft process. So if you're gonna trust a GM, you gotta trust him high and low. Like you gotta trust him
Agree.
all the way. So if you think he the man at picking players, then you should believe that Brandon Coleman is that left tackle.
Oh wait,
You
wait,
should
hold on.
you
Okay, AJ, but if that's the case, you should believe it and said it then. Why not? Shit, I'm
I
just saying,
don't
bro. He gonna be
I
good.
I'm not the one that's treating Adam Peters like he God, like he's Jesus.
But do you think
Like
he's a
that's
good?
you.
But do you think he's done a good job so far?
I mean, I feel like they've done good enough. Like certain picks I wouldn't have made. I wouldn't have made Luke McCaffrey pick. I wouldn't have made the Ben Sinnott pick. Um, but at the end of the day, I don't get paid to do that. I look at the fact that DT could probably pull it up. Probably about 15 to 20 guys didn't get retained from this roster last year.
Yeah.
So even though you say they didn't make major moves, they really did. It's just that they were able to utilize their resources and their relationships to bring in guys such as a Bobby Wagner on a 1 year deal. Cause like just
Mm-hmm.
knowing Bobby personally, he was never going to come east. Like that's just
Yeah. Well,
never been his
yeah.
thing, never been something that he's wanted to do. But Dan Quinn and Ken Norton being a part of this staff is what lured him to come to Washington. So he gets to try it out. He might get extended depending on how he plays. Getting a guy like a Jeremy Chin, that's a 6'3", 6'4", guy that can play corner. He can play free safety. He can play strong safety. He can play hybrid linebacker and the big nickel. He's like 225. He pretty much is like Sean Taylor without the skill set of a Sean Taylor, like as far as body wise.
Mm.
Yeah, they've been able to add pieces. Like I said, if you look at how many players they did not retain versus how many they added in free agency, it's night and day, bro. Like the roster
Yeah, for
don't look the
sure.
same. So those are major signings. And I even think in the free agency pool, there wasn't major guys that you could really go after to say, hey, there was like a Micah Parsons in free agency. There was a Chris Jones in free agency. There was like top dogs in free agency. It was guys available. Some got paid, some didn't. Some are still out there, like a Justin Simmons,
Or Stephon
uh,
Gilmore.
Stephon Gilmore, Xavier Howard, and Dalvin Cook, so on. Like David Bakhtiari. Like there's still guys out there, but I feel like the moves that they made were major. They were able to negotiate deals where they could get out of that were beyond the 1 year, and they brought in a lot of talented guys that can help them create an infrastructure of a culture, but also can contribute on the field at the same token.
I agree. My only thing is, bro, we gotta find the identity of this team. We got too many major questions for us to be investing so early at a position of that you can find every year.
That's
Like
not that's not that's not true, Caleb.
you can
Because
find a
if that was
receiver
if
every
that was
year.
the case, if you could find it so easily and was that easy to come by, nobody would be having a conversation as a Washington fan about bringing Brandon Aiyuk in.
That's because
Jahad Johnson has only played 2 seasons. He was the 16th overall pick in the draft. Like, I mean, if it was that easy to just find wide receivers or talent in general, like no one would be thinking, oh, let's try to acquire a Brandon Ayuk. The 49ers themselves wouldn't have taken a Ricky Pearsall with their first round pick. They just came from the chip. They just came from the chip, bruh. They already got Ayuk, Samuel, Jawan Jennings, George Kittle, Christian McCaffrey, and a couple other guys as receiving threats, and they used their first round pick on another wide receiver out of Florida. And they took another one fourth round, Jacob Cowan. So it's like you need weapons. The more weapons you have, it creates an opportunity for you to have mismatches. The defense can't attack you certain ways. It also improves your offensive line. Because my
Yeah.
whole thing is when you look at even the 49ers, outside of Trent Williams, can't nobody tell me another offensive lineman's name on the 49ers without using Google.
well,
Bunch of random
well,
guys.
well to that point, they find players that fit their scheme and fit their system, and they're a balanced team. They don't. They, I think they were. I think they had more running attempts this year than passing attempts. I believe so. But the way they set that team up and the way they get their players, they have players that are built within that scheme.
Yeah,
They're,
it's a run first focused team. That's why you have to be impressed even with a Brandon Ayuk's numbers, because he's getting limited targets. He's not even getting opportunities such as a Justin Jefferson, a Tyreek Hill, Amon St. Brown, even a Devontae Smith or AJ Brown. He's not getting a heavy doses of that. They're really spreading the ball all over the place. But the reason why they're able to be a functioning offense is because Kyle's play calling, like the art of play calling is connected plays. Like he's able to put the run game into the pass game into the run game, and that keeps the defense off balance. Plus, the guys that they have at the skilled positions are threats. You know, Brandon Ayuk can literally catch the ball and go for 60.
yeah, he can.
Same with Debo Samuel. He might be in motion in the jet sweep. Chris McCaffrey is a dual running back. George Kittle is a solid ass blocker, like a elite blocker at tight end, but he also can be a threat in the receiving game. Then you got other guys that can contribute, such as the Juwan Jennings. So that's where it's just like all things are connected. I mean, we don't know what's gonna be the defense or the offense for the Washington Commanders, but you just feel like you have an understanding of what Dan Quinn is. When it comes to Cliff Kingsbury, have no damn clue. Like I've watched enough Arizona tape to have an idea how he ran his offense there,
Yeah.
but still, these players are a bit different.
All right. Like I
So
said,
so so it'll
like
be interesting. I mean, I don't know what's gonna happen with
no,
the
like
IU thing. You
it,
feel me?
yeah, no, I get it, but for me, this to me, this is just an entertaining talking point. Like the Niners not letting him go. I don't think so. At least
I
I
think, I
I don't
mean,
think.
like I said on Twitter, and I've been saying, like, a lot of this stuff is to create this conversation because
Oh
he
yeah.
really does not want to be there because of how like the NFL is structured and the CBA.
Hmm.
The 49ers can take advantage of him. Like right now with his fifth year option being exercised, that's like 15 million. That's what he's gonna get paid for the season. He's already been fined for missing mandatory mini camp 10,000. Now when training camp comes, you going if he misses those dates,
Gonna
he's
lose
gonna get
more
fined.
money.
He's gonna get fined.
Yeah.
But now, even if he does get a new deal from the 49ers, they can't even throw that money back into the contract. It's not like how it used to be back in the day. If you miss these days, like they could work out something where you recoup your funds. So I look at it as a standpoint. Brandon Ayuk is like, let me market myself and really put to the public I want out without really saying I want to trade. But like, let me get the interest out there because these GMs and these front offices, they watch TV just like everybody else. They start to get the call in to find out what's going on, what could it take. You just never really know. But it seems like he has in his mind, if I do need to leave San Fran, I'd rather be with my best friend Jaden Daniels. And they have a need at the position and they have the money. So I think it was all strategic. He's trying to see if he can get moved out of San Fran before training camp comes, where he's pretty much gonna be stuck. If training camp hits and he still hasn't been traded, he gonna have to show up because he can't afford to lose that money. And then the 49ers still can tag him for 2 additional years because this is just a fifth year option, you know? But the 49ers are in a tough situation too. They got to pay Brock Purdy, Hufunga. Trent Williams wants a new deal. They just gave CMC his extension. You probably going to have to do something with Fred Warner's contract. You got a lot of guys up for money, but especially that Brock Purdy contract you don't know what that could be. It's probably gonna start off at 50 million.
Yeah, and I think to me, like if they do pay Purdy and they still trying to find a way to keep IU, I think the best thing they'll have to do is tag him. Right? They'll have the franchise tag him for like what 16,
Yeah,
18 million.
I mean, if they tag him next year, probably be close to 22 mil.
Okay,
Yeah. So right now the fifth year option is 15. Next year's tag probably be around 22 to 22.5. Because I think right now is like 21, but like it keeps getting bumped up because more guys gonna continue to get paid. Like I expect
yeah,
Tyreek Hill to get a new deal before training camp or before week 1. CD Lamb gonna get a new deal. Jamar Chase. Yeah, so the numbers gonna get bumped up. But I just feel like you have to make that inquiry. Like if you make it happen, you make it happen. If you don't, it is what it is. But when that season hit, I don't want to hear nobody saying shit about damn these wide receivers ass. Yeah, they are ass.
Yeah, I
Because
think
if Terry get hurt, you fuck. You literally have the worst. I don't know if I could curse on here, but you literally have the worst wide receiver room in the NFL if Terry goes down. And if you look at the structure of most teams that are successful in the league, they got pretty much two guys that could be a number one.
I don't know about worse in the league, bro, but
Who, if you move Terry McLaurin off the Washington Commanders as a wide receiver, who other like what other team has a worse wide receiver room? Even the Patriots got a better wide receiver room these days.
mm, who they got? I know they drafted Javon Baker
They got Javon Baker.
and
They still got Kendrick Bourne.
Pope,
Uh, they got Polk from Washington.
Demario
Uh,
Douglas. Um, is
they
Juju
got some
still there?
other guys. Yeah, I think Juju is still there too.
I can't. You know what's
They
crazy?
don't have
I
elite
can't.
guys, but they
I,
have serviceable guys.
Yeah, they got guys that can help.
Yeah. Whereas like
we
Jahan,
don't
I'm not
got.
saying Jahan is bad. I think he struggles against press coverage. So that's where it's tough to put him on the outside. Like, and then you draft a Luke McCaffrey who's getting familiar with playing the position. He really can't win on the outside either. So you're gonna have to put them in situations scheme wise to where they're off the line of scrimmage where they can't get pressed. Cause that's what they struggle at.
You know what's crazy? I'm actually looking at the. I can't even say the Cardinals because they got Marvin Harrison, right? I can't even say the Cardinals. Can't even say the Texans because Nico Collins is a dog. Tank Dell's a dog.
Texas got wide. I
Yeah,
think Michi is still there. I think Robert Woods
yeah,
is
yeah,
still
yeah,
there.
yeah, yeah,
Diggs
yeah.
is there. Nico, Tank.
You
They
can't
got receivers.
and you can't even say the Titans because now they got D Hop and they got Calvin Ridley and they got Traylon Burks.
Man, they got Tyler Boyd as well.
And you like, oh yeah, I forgot they do got. I forgot they do got him.
That's what I'm saying. Look at the Cleveland Browns. They got Jerry Judy, Amari Cooper, Elijah Moore. They got a couple other guys. Like if you look around the league, bro, like that is just what's happening. So when I hear people talking about, oh, you can't pay two wide receivers this kind of money, you got a
Oh
team in
no,
your division that's
the,
doing it. The
no,
Eagles,
Eagles
the
just
Eagles
did it.
paying
yeah, no,
Devontae
no, no,
Smith and
no.
AJ Brown.
No, AJ, for me, it's not the money. We got the money. The money's not a concern with me. It's the assets I'm giving up, and it's just too early of an investment, in my opinion. Like I haven't even like we haven't even seen these guys play, bro.
Why do you need to see them play? Because
So,
even if they
so
play 1 year, let's say Jaden Daniels has 1 year, he looks even better than CJ Stroud. But that's what you already expected. That's why you drafted him number two. That's what you're projecting. That's what you want
Oh, I
out
just
of
said
the
it.
player that you selecting. So
I just
take
said it. I just said they're
anyone
really
can
good.
fall off after year one. Like RG3 is my guy, but after year one, he never returned back to his rookie season. So you just never really know, bro. Like you gotta start building immediately. Like if you look at the Bears, if they took the same approach that they're doing with Caleb Williams with Justin Fields, his career be on a whole different trajectory. Like they're going in with the fact that we're gonna put him around veteran talent that has proven themselves in this league, and we know that he could distribute the ball, be point guard, getting the ball to Keenan Allen, Roma Dunze, DJ Moore. We added Gerald Everett, the tight end, to go alongside Komet. We also brought in DeAndre Swift, and we got our defense. We retained some players on that front. Like let's go see what we could do. You feel me? But
I,
like,
I got you. It's just that all of these weapons, and to me, the O line is still trash. So I'd rather
but you
be.
don't you don't know that. Like that's what I'm saying. You contradicting yourself. You telling me Adam Peters is that man, but then you don't trust when he's built up offensive line
No,
wise.
if there's one aspect that I wish he would have done better, what I wish he would have invested in more at a higher with the higher picks is the offensive line, of course. But like I
Yeah,
just
but at the
I
same time, though, Caleb, like
I don't know.
Commanders was there, and a lot of you guys got passed on. Some of the guys didn't get picked till like close to 50 or 67. So maybe them guys were in the range. Like to be honest with you,
So DC, would you have picked? Because I told you about Jackson Powers Johnson. Would you have picked him or Johnny Newton
Johnny Newton.
over Jackson
I
Powers
signed a
Johnson?
center. Why I need another center? I signed Biotic, the average center.
Position flex.
Nah,
Okay, Ron Rivera. All right.
It's
nah.
like
If you have a guy that's
You already got
talented
enough
and he's
position flex.
projected top
You
15,
got Al Grady that can play both guards. You got Andrew Waller that can play both guards and tackle. You got Ricky Stromberg. You trying out at guard. He's also a center. He was the top center in the SEC. You got Braden Daniels. You got Chris Paul. You got a bunch of guys that you can already flex on that offensive line. Even the Brandon Coleman that they selected.
yeah,
A lot of people project him to be a better guard than a tackle. So you got more flex if that's what you want to do, Ron Rivera.
So what about left tackle, AJ? You like Cornelius Lucas? You trust him?
Bro, when it comes to when it comes to anything on this offensive line,
You don't.
I've said on our show Tuesday, like you're not gonna learn about what this combination of offensive line is truly gonna be until the joint practices with the Jets and
yeah.
the Miami Dolphins.
Mhm.
Because right now you're not really seeing the real bump and who can really withstand that pass rush. And at least in training camp process with the joint practices, they're
Mm-hmm.
gonna be going against some ferocious guys
Yeah.
on that D line,
That
whether it
just
be with the Jets and Quentin Williams, Jermaine Johnson, Will McDonald,
And then
John Franklin Myers. Then with Miami, they got Calais Campbell now to go alongside Chop Robinson, Jayla Phillips, Bradley Chubb,
Jalen
Shaq
Phillips.
Barrett.
Yeah,
They got a bunch. They got a rotation of guys over
yeah,
there. So
yeah. Jalen Phillips probably won't play because he got that torn. He got that torn Achilles. But my thing is
yeah,
this.
but he should be back. He should be back. But even
Yeah,
if he's not, they still got a seasoned pass rusher and a Shaq Barrett from Tampa. Like
yeah.
you
Like I
got
said, yeah.
you got some people that you can actually test your offensive line against within them joint practices.
Yeah,
So it'd be interesting.
like I said, I don't know if you heard me, but I don't. I get why people want Ayuk. I get it. I'm not dismissing that aspect. I'm just, I don't know, bro.
You scared. You got PTSD. Like
Nah,
that's all it is. Cause Caleb, if we move this Washington Commanders team to Madden, for example, like you play
hmm
Madden and someone offered you Brandon Ayuk for a second and fourth round pick
I'm
on
doing it.
Madden, you're doing it.
Yeah, I'm
So
doing it. Yeah, I'm
so
doing it.
what would be the hesitation in real life? Because you know that you have uncertainty, you have questions when it comes to your wide receiver room. The only person you could truly count on is Terry McLaurin, right? And Terry's about to be 30 years old. You can also get out his contract next year. Like outside of that, if you even go in next year, if you say, "Oh, I don't want to trust this year going all in on the fact of getting more more talent offensively or defensively," right? Next year, then what? You're gonna go into the offseason with what? Like, what if you decide to move on from Terry? Then you have Jahan Dotson and Luke McCaffrey under
Yeah, like
contract.
the only way I'm moving off of Terry is if his production has like just had a complete drop off, and you can just see he's regressing physically. I haven't seen him regress physically yet. I don't think we've seen that yet. I think he's
Okay,
still.
so why do we have a why do we have a why do we have an excuse for Jahan Dotson but not an excuse for Terry McLaurin?
What do you? No, I have no
Because I
excuse.
feel I feel like if you a dog at wide receiver,
Yeah.
you make that shit work no matter who's at QB.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. Jahan didn't have a good year. I'm not giving excuses for Jahan. He didn't play well. he didn't play well. He didn't create enough separation. He, like he, just the offense in particular was just nothing meshed well together. Like I said, there's a lot of context to go. There's a lot of context to why things didn't work out or why this happened, like why last season happened. But most likely, everybody was just play like ass. If we keep it in a buck, but like they could move on from Terry unless they get like a compensation they can't refuse, or he's just physically regressing. So and or they could invest in a receiver in the draft next year. Like I said, if they get Ayuk, then they get him. But uh, like I said, man, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. There's been times when we invest heavily in players and shit hit rock bottom.
Like I say, you got PTSD.
Like,
Like I mean, like
that's
bruh,
all I'm
like
saying.
this is just life. Like okay, let's say if you dated a chick and the relationship ain't go good, so what you, Caleb, you gonna go start dating men now?
Fuck hell no.
I'm
Yeah,
just saying, like
for sure.
you
I mean,
you
I get it.
you telling me because you got one bad experience, you can't try again?
I get, yeah. And you know what? I can't
Oh,
even.
okay.
And you know what, DT? I can't even argue with that point he just made because I do say if Jaden busts, if he just so happens to be a bust, if I can draft another quarterback next year, I'm doing it too. So I can't even be mad at that sentiment. So all right, man, y'all want IU? Go ahead.
I mean, my thing is you just got to surround your quarterback, especially while they still on they rookie contract, with as much talent as possible, so that you can achieve whatever goals you do have. You may not win the Super Bowl, but at least you'll be a more competitive product. And I think that's truly what the Washington fan base wants at the end of the day. They
Yeah.
want to know. They want to know when they watch the game Sunday at 1 p.m. like their team truly has a chance because they have a great coaching staff that's going to put the players in the right position to win, and
Mhm.
they also got talent on the field that can produce what the coaches is asking them to do. And we haven't had that as fans for a very long time.
Yeah,
Like
true.
everyone can't win the Super Bowl. Like I don't think anyone's thinking like Washington realistically is going to win the Super Bowl in the next year or two, but you want to be competitive to where Washington is playing playoff games come mid-January. Like
True.
like
Yeah.
you don't want to be going into October like shit, the season over already. But this is who I root for. Let me just stick in there.
No, like I trust me, I get it. I understand why. All right, man. All right.
I mean,
I
I ain't
think
come on here to
Yeah,
sell you
yeah.
on
I know.
anything. It's just
Yeah.
good conversation with my
Yeah, of
guys,
course.
DC and Caleb.
Yeah, of
At
course.
the end of the day, we all got different opinions and thought processes of how you get a team right. Some people want the Ron Rivera approach. Some people want the less need approach. Fuck them picks.
I don't
But
want that
Some
see,
Ron
people,
approach.
but see, AJ, that Ron approach, I know people say that a lot,
I don't want that.
but we can curse on here. I don't give a damn. That idiot just didn't draft the right players. Like, but and that 5 year plan was bullshit. Like that's BS. If you said 2 to 3, sure, but he didn't even draft the right players. He's he couldn't he couldn't even do that. Like
Crazy.
he didn't even draft the right players to begin with. But like I said, man, Ayuk on this team would be nasty. It would be disgusting, disgusting.
man, I
I
think and
I
they just
I
need a
just
number. They need another wide receiver. It could be Ayuk, it could be T Higgins, whoever. They just need somebody else that can add to this room. Because if you look at the wide receivers now, we got Terry, Jahan Dotson, Luke McCaffrey, Alameda Zacchaeus, Dimitri Bird, Jamison Crowder, a bunch of other guys that haven't done nothing in the league, Mitchell Tinsley, uh, the Rosemary Saint or whatever his name is.
the dude from Georgia. Yeah.
I think I'm missing somebody else, but you got guys that are over the hill. Jamison Crowder's over the hill, and you can't play him
Mhm.
outside. Luke McCaffrey is learning the position. You don't know what you truly getting there, but from what I've seen from tape, ain't shit. But Jahan Dotson is inconsistent. That if you have to sit here and talk about him as a player, you got to simply be fair and be like he's been inconsistent. Like I know he can run routes, but the issue is he could run routes on a collegiate level. In the NFL, he gets out of his releases too slow. Like he be dancing too much at the line of scrimmage. It's like, man, just go. Like so it's like you really don't know. You just hope that Jaden Daniels can create on the fly, and you also hope that Cliff Kingsbury can dial up a good offensive scheme that creates these mismatches and not listen to Caleb and putting Ben Simmons in the slot.
You can all right, bro.
No, you can't.
You
Y'all
never
sleeping
said
on
that.
No, you can't.
y'all sleeping on Ben Simmons, bro. He gonna be good. I don't care what
Hey,
nobody
I'm
say.
in a coma.
Okay, all right.
Good.
He gonna be good. He gonna be good.
I'm in a coma, Caleb.
All right. All right. Like I said, like I always say, DT, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. And I'll say I'm wrong. But nah, I think
Man,
he's gonna
look, everybody,
I
like
think he's gonna be
AJ
good.
said, bro. Everybody has like a different theory and style of building teams, bro. But at the end of the day, like I said earlier, if you identify a guy and you draft a guy that high, you need to put everything around him to be successful. 'Cause that's the guy that's supposed to be your cornerstone right there.
Yeah, I agree with that. That just goes back to my point. Would you invest in the receivers or would you invest in the trenches? So, you
I
know.
invest wherever can help the team.
You know what's interesting? You could pull it up like maybe a month ago, 49ers offensive line coach. He said he told John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan,
I know what you're talking about.
hey man, go get the skill players, go get
Get
the
the skills
weapons, and
players.
I'll work on the offensive line. Like we can make anything shake with anybody offensive line wise. And I've always shared that same sentiment because like excuse me, it's not too many teams that have like a top offensive line across the board. Excuse me, they work as a conjunction, but
Yeah,
if you add in as much weapons as you can, you're allowed to be so creative with how you have these mismatches going about, and you can slow down that pass rush. That's why Miami has so much success with Tua. Like that offense don't really work without Tua, because Tua's timing and
accuracy.
his accuracy, but just like what's the word I'm looking for?
But
Um,
anticipate.
Anticipation, yeah. Like it's just on point. And the jet sweeps, all those different motions, it helps them. That's why they go after so much speed. Like they keep adding speed to their team because it's a real threat. Like you have to be proactive going against speed. Even if the person can't catch, you still gotta you still gotta protect that field from,
Yeah.
hey, this person could be a real threat and take it 70 yards.
Now I've said I think this O line. I said this last year too, and I was disappointed. But this year I'm gonna say it because I think it's Cliff has shown that he can be balanced. So I think the O line can be better. It's just still huge question marks to me. Like them being balanced and running the ball, yeah, like that can make an offensive line much more better with the play action. And that'll help a lot. Put less stress on the offensive line, so they can look better than what they are or what they are on paper as a unit. You know, I just would like to have a franchise left tackle or some type of great to elite
Hey man,
guard
before
or something.
before I get off here from y'all show, I appreciate y'all having
Yeah.
me on here, just popping in real quick. I would like to ask y'all a question before I get out of here. So, Caleb, you want to focus on the offensive line. Who's your projected starters week one offensive line wise, from left tackle to right tackle to both guards? Of course, we know who the center is, but
Yeah. So right tackle, I'll start at right tackle. Wiley, Cosme at guard. You got Tyler. You got Tyler at center. Left guard is just up for grabs to me. I'm leaning between Chris Paul and Allegretti. but I think they'll
Man,
go
you
with
gotta pick one name. You can't play both unless you want to be
yeah,
Ron
yeah,
Rivera. Once
yeah.
again, you want to be
But I'll say
rotating guards.
I'll say this. I think I most likely go with Allegretti. Left tackle. I'm gonna go with the Rook. Even though he gonna have a lot of growing pains, especially in this division.
But
But
how you know that though? Like that's where I'd be confused. How's he gonna have growing pains? Like we
because
don't know.
you got Brian Burns, you got Micah, you got Thibodeau, you got who's the edge players for the
Okay, so Caleb, if he's gonna have growing pains, what is Andrew Wiley, your projected right tackle starter, gonna have?
he's gonna be inconsistent. He's gonna be
Nah, he's
inconsistent.
just gonna be a dead man walking.
That too. That too. Someone shuffling.
I DT, let's hear yours.
I got Lucas, Allegretti, Biotic, Cosby, and Wiley starting.
And
Gotcha.
then
I'm
and
not even sure Wiley starts at right tackle.
who's gonna start?
I think you could put Lucas over there.
He a
I don't
full
have a
time,
problem with that. Like
I
if
also think
Boba
Wiley
can
could be the
come,
left guard, possibly. I
but
think
then,
I think everything is up for grabs on the
but
offensive line besides center.
I'm
and
not really
and
crazy about Allegretti though.
and
I
and
just saying
and
based off
and,
projection.
and by the way, AJ, I didn't even talk about other teams that we faced this year as far as edge rushers. The Ravens, the Browns, the Bengals, um, Steelers. Like we face teams that have good front fours. So like,
But you know what your
I'm
quarterback
sorry,
can do,
bro.
right? This ain't Sam Howell. So you can't rush the same that you would a Sam Howell
Uh,
because
I'm
Jaden can easily take that 80.
I'm
So
I'm
that's where it's like that's where it's like you need to put around as much talent as you can
I'm
and
gonna
scheme
have
this thing up because just alone of the fact that he can run, he don't really want to, but he can run. You can't necessarily like bring all out blitzes. You can't necessarily just pin back and go after the quarterback. Like he can make some shape.
I'm gonna have to see it to believe it, bro.
You've
Don't
seen it at
don't
LSU
don't
This
and
forget
Arizona
the
State.
experience matters
this
too.
this is the NFL though, bro. It's a whole different game. I don't know if he's gonna could he be the best athlete on the field every Sunday, AJ?
Are you
Maybe.
are you asking me or are you telling me?
No,
Does he have to be the best athlete or the best quarterback?
best quarterback,
He
but
got to be the best decision maker.
yeah. But if we're talking about his running ability, him being an athlete goes a part of that. I don't know if he's going to be that. I just don't know. I have to see it to believe it. Like I that's just me as a
I mean,
fan.
his
Wait,
legs don't
hold up.
stop working because he's now in the NFL, bruh.
Oh no, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying players are faster. They're
Bruh,
quicker.
he's going
He
against the
outran.
same dudes in the SEC.
We
That's
said
where I'd
that
be confused with.
we said that about Emmanuel
You
Forbes too.
regurgitating stuff from TV, bruh, and those people idiots as
We
well.
we we
Like,
we
dog,
said
his
that about
legs
it.
still work.
We said that about Emmanuel Forbes, the SEC shit and all that, bro. Like,
What
But
do you
Ford's
mean?
not a
I
bad
don't really
player,
feel like
bro.
Emmanuel Forbes had really a bad year as people make it out to be. They're gonna harp on certain things, but I mean that whole defense was terrible. I mean, when you got a high school coach teaching your DBs, your rookie
mhm,
DB at that, like what do you expect? Like Ron Rivera, they just took Emmanuel
yeah,
Forbes and just
like,
threw him out there and said, "Hey, go make some picks." But it's all layered. You
mhm,
need a pass rush to be there in order to be able to jump
like,
routes, in order to make plays on the ball. Like I looked at some statistics with Dallas Cowboys roster last year, their defense. Um, Washington finished the season with only 8 interceptions.
yeah.
Deron Bland had 9 interceptions by himself last year for the Cowboys.
And then after the trade deadline, I think we had and I think we did. We had the worst pass rush win rate than any team in the NFL, and I think the worst run stop win rate too.
Bruh,
So,
it's all layered. Like
no, yeah,
everything is layered. Like the back end needs help from the front end.
oh yeah, of course, yeah, I'm not disagreeing with that. Just saying, bro. This is just me personally, AJ. I'm gonna have to see it with my own two eyes at the NFL level, and then I'm all in.
Hey man, Mr. Delulu. Hey man, but
I'm
I
just trying to
appreciate.
figure out how in the world he's not going to be the same though. Like,
I'm not saying
That's what Caleb acting like. This man gonna
because
turn into
because
Sammy Sosa, the white
Be-
version. Like,
Because we've
like,
seen no, DT, we've seen players be great at the college level, but not be good at the NFL level. We've seen that.
but we're just talking about strictly his running ability. Like, if I'm
Okay.
being real, when I was watching his game Arizona State, I seen Pac-12 defenses play better against his running style than the SEC, and he's outrunning dudes that's going to be in the
Oh
NFL.
no, yeah, he. I know they talked about that Florida game where I think the fastest they had one of the fastest teams in the NFL. And he outran them, and now they're saying he clocked in at 22, 23 miles per hour. They said that's faster than Tyreek Hill. I don't know about that, but
Not even that though, bro. He Bama, Auburn, Mississippi State, Missouri.
mhm.
Like he's playing against guys that just got drafted this year, and all of them will say like, yeah, he was the most dangerous guy on the field, bro. Wherever he's throwing from the pocket or he just running with legs. He had like 160
Oh
yards.
yeah, no.
Bama.
Oh no. DT, I know about his running ability. I'm just saying these. All right, whatever, man. I'm just
bruh,
saying.
Justin Fields barely ran at Ohio State. Came into the league. Yeah,
Yeah,
his passing may be a little off, but he's teared
a
up the league
little,
running.
a little.
I'm just saying, like, if you can create outside the pocket and
Yeah,
scramble,
for
like
sure.
that don't just go away. You feel me? We're talking about an athlete here that probably runs a 4.3, just didn't do it at the combine. Like he can make something happen. Like when the defense don't know what's going on, but they also know you're a threat throwing the ball, it
Hmm.
opens up even
Yeah,
more lanes for you in the running game from the standpoint of like creating on the
yeah.
fly. So I mean, I anticipate him being able to do both, but that's where it really comes down to who's getting open, how's the offensive line protecting, and hopefully he just don't make some of those runs that he did against like Florida State and some other teams. But
Hmm.
I mean, we'll see. We couple well, we a month away, a month and like some weeks away from preseason.
Hey, we a month?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we are in August.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, just remember preseason last year, people were like,
yeah,
"Oh, Caleb, CJ Stroud's first pass was an interception." They were like, "Oh, he gonna be trash."
yeah.
Now everyone's talking about,
Yeah,
oh, which
they
rookie
on it.
quarterback's gonna have a CJ Stroud type of season?
Yeah.
It's just
Yep.
fascinating. But I mean, at least we got something to look forward to as fans. We ain't got to watch bum ass Sam Howell. We ain't got to watch bum ass Drake May. So yeah, but like I said, man, I appreciate y'all boys. Y'all make sure y'all keep checking in with what they got going on. Deuce as well, Red Zone in the lab. Don't pay too much attention to Caleb. He's the Lulu, but at the end of
I
the
make,
day,
I stand 10 toes down on my opinion. I don't give a damn. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Straight like
hey
that.
man,
All
that's
right.
that's that's what someone with the Lulu would say. So,
Okay. Yeah. For sure.
all right, man, y'all be blessed, man.
All right, bro. Appreciate
I
it.
appreciate y'all.
Go ahead and bring somebody else on, DT.
Nah,
Bring somebody else
it's
on.
an hour 13 minutes. That was a good conversation.
Oh yeah,
But
for sure. Oh, for sure it was. Look, man, all I'm saying is this. Need to temper a little bit expectations. Just relax. That's all I'm
what
saying.
are the expectations, Caleb?
My expectations, I think,
The only expectation is to be better than last year.
yeah,
That's
sure,
literally it.
sure.
But if you're telling me like this team really can't win 6, 7,
Oh
maybe
no, I'm not saying that.
yeah.
I think they can win 6, 7. I don't think they're winning 9. I don't know. I don't think they're winning 9. But like I said, I don't care about the record this year. I don't. I care about the development of the players. I care about if Jaden is the guy. I could give a damn what that record is. That's just me. Now, if we lose games,
I knew he was.
if we lose games, it's how we lose the games.
Yeah.
Are we getting outplayed? That I'm gonna have an issue with. Now next year it's like okay, now yeah, I'm expecting to take that next step. If they get 6 or 7 wins, now I expect more from you. I expect 9. Then the following year, I expect more than that. Then I expect a level of consistency and stability at that point in time. Right? Now, they could very much well do something crazy and have a crazy ass year and win 9 to 10 games. They're going to have a lot of things are going to have to happen for that to happen. No injuries, free players hitting, free agents hitting. A lot has to happen. So it's just me. People say, "Oh, you can't speak for anybody." Let us fan how we fan. Cool. Just saying. Don't get disappointed. But like I said, I love this team. Like the direction they're headed in. I'm just relaxed right now. Chilling right now.
I'm relaxed too, man.
I don't know. Y'all want to go all in this year. It's not. All right, man.
Oh shoot, man.
All right, man. I didn't even look at the comments because I'm not even paying attention.
He
Put
said,
up some.
he said
No. I saw that. I'm saying like other stuff. I don't care about what Antoine's saying. I don't care what he's saying.
Monte got 10 and 7.
All right, man.
And Outlaw said, "What's up?" So,
Yeah, fuck the Celtics, Outlaw. But yeah. And DT, I'm gonna say this in public because I know we got over 100 viewers. I don't hate Jaden. Can I please get this across? People think I don't want to make these moves because we have Jaden as our quarterback. Oh, but if we had Drake, man, you do it. No, I still wouldn't do it. No matter who the quarterback is. I like Jaden and what he can bring. I think he's going to be good. I hope that he's good, damn it, because we need a quarterback. I want this team to be successful. I'm just not expecting that the first year at all. Not year one. Not year one. In the future, yes. I can definitely see us winning a playoff game in the next 3 to 4 years, maybe 2. I can definitely see that. We can definitely win a playoff game in the next 3 years. I can see that. I can definitely see that.
hey man, go wash some clothes. Go do something.
But he's a Jets fan. I'm not concerned about that.
Hey, he need to wash his clothes. He need to wash his
You're a Jets fan. You wanted to lose to us, so I'm not trying to hear that. So and you won. So hey,
It's the last call.
my hate on a black quarterback. Crazy.
Hey, man,
I like Jaden. DC, you heard me said I like Jaden and what he can bring. I like what he can bring.
But look, man, we gotta go. This was good. Caleb probably should be feeling better. We'll probably see what we go with next week and stuff like that. But that's all we got for y'all tonight. It's your boy DT. We got Caleb. And look, click like and subscribe to the channel, man, and keep up to date what's going on. I'm like 2 away from 100. That's like a big achievement. But that's all we got for y'all tonight. We'll catch y'all later. You follow us at D Clean Jr. Follow Caleb Justin on Twitter. You got any questions or anything you want to talk about Commanders related, just message us or you'll catch us on Twitter. This is the Command Time Podcast presented by the Fans Sports Network. We'll see you guys next time.
Peace.
If they ain't cooking, I don't want it.